Terminals are on your iDroid.
Feeling hungry? Old timer? Old timer. I do not get hungry. No. But you have a new hamburger? You guessed it. And this time we use lamb.
Careful down there, boy.
Lamb. You're not a lamb kind of guy? A hamburger is made of beef. Who ever heard of a hamburger without beef? Yeah, but we gotta stay fresh, stand out from our competition. You're what? Just give it a try. If you say so.
You have arrived at your destination.
Not bad. But I cannot call this a hamburger. I thought we were onto something this time. Maybe the problem is that it looks like a regular hamburger. Gotta think outside the box. Too much baggage if they come in expecting just another burger. Let's see, cotton candy? To make it look like a sheep? Yeah. Just a minute.
The map has been updated.
You really think people would eat that? What is it you are planning?
You have arrived.
Are you using me? A taste tester?
Extraction
A one-man focus group? Well, actually, I've already started. I got a place called, Miller's Maxi Buns. You are kidding me. Well, to be honest, business hasn't been great. No one seems to like my, buns. The Ocelot said Diamond Dog's budget did not add up. But you don't mean to tell me? What? No. Our black budget's got it all covered. I'm not embezzling GMP or anything. Still, let's not say anything to Snake, okay? Very well. However, Kazuhira, it takes more than premium ingredients and a clever recipe to satisfy the palate. Okay, so what do we do? The palate seeks one thing. Chemical additives. Chemical additives. There is nothing mysterious or spiritual about good flavor. The tongue simply identifies specific amino acids, which the brain then recognizes as appealing. Therefore, all that is needed is to chemically isolate those amino acids and incorporate them.
That's the target.
Products. To be clear, I speak of flavor. The rest is irrelevant. That seems a little extreme. Do not forget that I am a scientist after all, and using science for the benefit of others is a joy. In seeking coexistence with nature's blessings, not everything can remain in its natural form. When we fall ill, we must be treated. Otherwise, that very nature could cost us our lives. Agriculture is one of nature's many blessings. But through that process, we damage the surrounding vegetation. Yeah. Whether it's a massive farm or a tiny field, we always leave our mark on the land. The same is true of parasites and for food preparation. If tapeworms in the raw meat of another animal enter the human body, they roam around trying to find their usual habitat. Sometimes even eating away at the brain in their confusion. So in looking through a scientific point of view, you see the necessity for processing food. Yes, It is also sometimes necessary to eliminate certain parasites, or selectively use or even modify others.
Destination.
Alternatively, we could say that if a man is part of nature, the work he does is also part of it. What is important is the balance.
Yeah, you're right. Thanks, old-timer. You really opened my eyes. I fooled myself into thinking people today wanted high-quality, all-natural goods. But my favorite burgers were never about that. What they want is something like the first burger I had in America when I went to meet my dad. Frankenburger loaded with additives. That's the America I knew and loved. I'll be back in a jiffy, old-timer. My next burger's gonna knock your socks off.
Kazuhira, wait. What is important is how we balance the... Quick for a one-legged man. Frankenburger.
Side ops list.
What
updated.
kind of a dive did your old man take you to?
Extraction arrived at Mother
Base.
Marker placed. Marker placed. Marker placed.
Des trucs à prendre dedans.
Rise and shine, old-timer. It is complete. I had our best and brightest working overtime, fine-tuning the greatest burger the world has ever known. I call it the chemical burger.
What on earth is that color?
Now, don't judge a burger by its color. Go on, try it.
I am not very hungry.
What? Oh, I get it. Sure, it's loaded with additives, but each one's been approved by the WHO for human consumption. Come on, one little bite's not gonna kill you.
Are you sure of that? Fine.
Well, what do you think?
It is perfect.
Right? Right?
This takes me back to the taste of my youth. The neon signs on the Mother Road. Oh, I can see them now.
So, what do you think of our signs now? And it doesn't just taste great. You won't believe how cheap it is to make. And because it's pumped up with preservatives, it won't spoil easily in regions lacking refrigerated storage or transportation infrastructure. This bad boy could even solve Africa's hunger problem.
Excuse me.
People will no longer fight over food or find reason to hate one another. Mankind will come together, reunited between these fluffy buns. Forget Pax Americana. Say hello to Pax Hamburgana.
Pax Hamburgana.
Skullface thought that destruction was the way to free the peoples of the world from American imperialism. But this is different. Tackling something head-on just makes for more conflict. Only by uniting the world can its various inhabitants truly become free. Having lived as an American parasite as long as I have, I know what I'm talking about. The chemical burger is poised to be the greatest liberating force the world has ever known.
An ethnic liberator. Burger.
Now all I need is a better brand image, starting with a name. I gotta run, old-timer. I'll catch you later.
We finished decoding the informant's report. That floating kid we've run into a few times now. Looks like he was a test subject in clinical experiments. The Soviets called him the third boy. The third boy was brought to a lab on the outskirts of Moscow from Czechoslovakia, after which he was due to be sent to a research center in Leningrad, then Siberia, and finally an academic town in Novosibirsk. It doesn't appear that the researchers witnessed the talents we've seen from him, but nevertheless he was quite the popular subject. His latent cognitive abilities suddenly awoke en route to Moscow. According to the report, the third boy was easily influenced by other individuals' biofields, evil thoughts in particular. They affected his mind like a virus. Extreme anger or resentment, motives for revenge, in other words. Now, during the transport flight to Moscow, the boy was exposed to a powerful mental energy field. An individual. Ever since, being conscious of his powers, he's become a sort of energy generator. What's unique about him is the way his acute telepathic abilities get taken over by another person's will. The boy began to physically parasitize individuals experiencing extreme anger and codify the host's desires. This includes amplifying the host's natural strengths. Or, in accordance with the host's desires, he can also implant program code in another individual, making them a puppet, essentially. Human neural synapses transmit weak electrical currents between neurons. These electrical currents, though at a level difficult to observe, warp the magnetic field outside the body. The third boy is able to pick up these weak fluctuations. Contrary to psychotronics, which involves controlling the human mind, his abilities as a receptor are too high. The emotions he picks up from another individual are amplified and unleashed into his body as they recur in his brain. They turn into microwaves, which then affect the physical world, triggering paranormal phenomena like the spontaneous combustion of organic matter or psychokinesis, moving an object without touching. There's one other thing. While he's parasitizing a host, the boy's ego gets shut away, allowing the will of the host to take control of his powers, like some annoying static drowning out your own voice. That means he isn't responsible for what's been happening. Somebody's extreme anger has manifested through the third boy's powers in ways none of us could have predicted, which would mean this was going on somewhere around us. Looking back on it, a lot of things make sense now. The man on fire, Sahelanthropus, they both came to life thanks to the third boy's powers. Everything has been happening through him.
That's the target.
We first saw him in the hospital on Cyprus. The boy parasitizing the man on fire's desire for revenge gave him his new abilities in return. He next appeared at the Hamid Fighter's Fort where the honeybee was hidden. There, the boy parasitized Skullface's vengeful mind. He controlled Sahelanthropus, making it do whatever Skullface wanted. Same goes for when we extracted Emmerich onto the chopper. When he appeared at the Devil's House in Central Africa, Skullface's will controlled the man on fire via the third boy's powers. Everything is clear up to this point. But even the informant couldn't pinpoint who the host was in the cave within Serac power plant. Sahelanthropus suddenly became active, then crushed not only the man on fire, but Skullface as well. Surely neither of them could have been the host. Who else was at that location and bore anger more extreme than either of them? Whose will was controlling Sahelanthropus? According to the report, emotions transmitted in children's brains affect the surrounding magnetic field more strongly. Cerebral nerves are called myelin sheaths to increase impulse speed. The reason for this leakage has to do with the fact that children's myelin sheaths are still developing. So, how many children do you remember being there? Children with a burning desire for revenge and bearing a grudge against you. I can think of only one. Eli. We don't know what kind of life he's had, but the resentment he's shown toward adults is nothing short of extraordinary. The third boy resonated with Eli.
All along the ground. That should enable you to sneak past enemies.
Of all miles within the boy's reception range, estimated to be a 3-mile radius, beating out even Volgan and Skullface. The third boy has probably remained hooked on Eli's anger since. You remember at the Devil's House, the third boy showed an interest in Shivani? That must have been his ego making a rare appearance. He may possess abilities far beyond anyone else in the world, but he's still a kid. Maybe them both being kids was enough to bring them together. And if so, maybe with Eli, he isn't feeding off him, but acting in symbiosis with him. So what kickstarted the third boy's powers? If we look at the location and time that his plane went down, we can make a pretty good guess. When the plane experienced the first anomaly, it gave an accurate report of its position to a control tower, due north of the Black Sea, 125 miles east of Kiev. Dead south on the Black Sea is Cyprus's green line. So the plane's position was directly north of the hospital where you've been asleep for 9 years. And this anomaly was reported at exactly the same time that you woke up. The plane was enveloped in flame from the inside out. The fuselage burnt to ashes. There were no survivors, at least not publicly admitted. Your thoughts formed a synchronicity with the boy's psyche and were amplified inside his brain. That would have been more than enough to trigger his abilities. Your rage was like a big bang in his head, blowing the lid off his powers. The boy was then secretly moved to the lab outside of Moscow where Volgan was comatose. There, Volgan's thoughts resonated with the boy and he was awakened. Volgan became the man on fire, hell-bent on getting revenge on you. His instincts led him straight to you. Skullface knew Volgan from Operation Snake Eater, or perhaps from even before. Monitoring this pair of extraordinaries, he discovered the hospital and sent his assassin and XOF. Skullface was probably watching the situation from close by. Then, realizing how useful these two test subjects could be, he approached them. Reacting to Skullface's thirst for revenge, this time the boy let Skullface's will control Volgan. Volgan, at times driven by personal revenge, at times through Skullface's will, kept on moving, though his body was little more than dead meat. Perhaps there were moments where even your thoughts affected him as well. But without the boy's power, it was like the plug had been pulled from the socket. Everything was powered by anger, malice, revenge. This is how the end of the report sums things up. Both the third boy and the man on fire were originally test subjects of paranormal research for military applications, like telekinetically controlling the leader of an enemy nation and making him launch a nuke, or stopping the heart of someone on the wrong side of the Berlin Wall, experimenting with latent human abilities. They were used as tools of the Cold War. The boy's only crime was being born with unique gifts. But he was sacrificed on the altar of war. His life reduced to slavery under other people's wills. Turned into a living weapon with no will of his own. Eventually, the only emotion he could feel must have been the desire to get revenge for the hand he'd been dealt.
He's coming too. Roger that.
That awakened the boy's powers. But there's more to it than that. I guess the anger emanating from you was something he could truly relate to.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated.
area. Maar blijf op jullie hoede. Uit.
Buddy has infiltrated our map has been updated. Side ops list updated. Extraction arrived at Mother Base. Marker removed.
Je réécoute la cassette parce que...
Please select a mission. Buddy has info unit. This map has been updated. Supplies requested. Supply drop complete. Extraction arrived at Mother Base.
Lance-roquette. Si je prends le kit. Pas trop.
Please select a drop point. Supplies requested. Supply drop complete.
Voilà que Chrome a bugué. Parler, je le vois pas. Désolé.
Enemy presence detected.
Boss, get down. The enemy sniper. Stay low and crawl along the ground. That should enable you to sneak past enemies.
Enemy presence detected. The map has been updated. detected. The map has been updated. Enemy presence
Putain, Chrome qui déconne, par contre, ça me casse les...
You have arrived at your destination.
Subject on board. Leave the rest to us.
Analysis complete.
You gonna extract him?
Side ops list updated.
Je vais faire assez de missions secondaires.
Extraction
Parce
arrived
qu'il me rappelle à
at
la
Mother
base.
Base.
Et plus de force. Allez Chrome, allez plante à mon cou là. Regarde si j'ai tout mis à jour.
Boss, we have an emergency. There's been another outbreak of the vocal cord parasites on the base. Several men are dead. It started in the laboratory on the quarantine platform where the radiation leak occurred. I'd only just deployed the security team.
I've sent in a rescue team to help, but they haven't returned. Boss, I need you on this. Come back to Mother Base ASAP.
ASAP, as soon as possible.
Here we go again. There's been another outbreak in the laboratory. The quarantine platform. We sent a team to investigate and recover the survivors, but they haven't returned.
There's nothing on the radio either. We got a backup team ready to go. Just give the order and
I'll go alone.
Boss, what are you... There's no need for that.
We can't afford to lose anyone else.
We have no idea what's going on
Exactly. Anyone still alive's at their breaking point. Last thing we need is another unit storming in. No telling how they'd react.
Fine. First off, check how much the infection has spread. Rescue comes next, after we know the situation. When you're ready to move, just use the iDroid.
On va y aller tout de suite. Bon, je vous préviens, je vois pas vos messages, donc acharnez-vous pas.
We have no idea why the parasite has showed up again.
Please
I thought we
select a
took care of
mission.
it. We need more information. Find out what's going on, boss. Select a mission on your iDroid.
Ça, sans préparation. Reste quoi d'autre comme préparation?
Boss, let's go over the situation again. We've got another parasite outbreak in the laboratory on the quarantine platform.
What is this?
No idea.
Damn it! What the? Shit!
We've sealed all the exits to keep it from spreading. No one's getting out. One of the researchers inside managed to isolate the parasite behind the outbreak. He faxed over his findings. Code Talker's analyzing them now.
Why this new outbreak, despite our inoculation? This is still unclear. Introducing the Wolbachia to the infected. prevented symptoms during the last epidemic. The parasites lodge in the victim's throat, forming a mating pair. But the Volvakia turns the male to female. Two females can neither copulate nor lay eggs.
That's why the rescue team went in with more Wolbachia. But the outbreak still isn't under control.
They should not be capable of laying eggs. Yet, we have a new outbreak. And the Wolbachia have no effect. I pray this is not some new strain. If it is,
then someone may have brought it here. If there's a spy running around.
For now, we must focus on discerning the outbreak mechanism. The cases show another alarming new development. It is now even more difficult to tell who is infected. The eggs propagate out of sight. No external symptoms. One who appears healthy may be dying on the inside.
What the hell happened in there? Boss, I still can't raise the rescue team I sent in. We know how to proceed if we just knew how to ID the symptoms. Finding that out is part of your job in there.
Analysis complete. Analysis complete. Analysis complete.
There's your quarantine tent.
The map has been updated.
Hang on, Snake. We've just had a transmission from inside. Here's the audio.
It all makes sense now. I win.
Where's it coming from?
Unknown. It cut off before we could get a fix. It all makes sense. Think he means the parasite? No way to know. But right now, that's all we've got. Hopefully he can tell us something. We'll have to close the tent behind you, boss. Don't think the infection's airborne, but... Find the source of that transmission, boss. Find our man.
You never know.
What is it?
Something sweet. I can smell it even through the mask.
The rescue team reported that too. Said it smelled like ripe fruit.
We cannot allow the infection to spread. If anyone shows symptoms, you must put them out of their misery.
That includes me.
Guess the parasites killed him. Don't touch him. He's covered in blood. Where did that transmission come from? sent the message. He has to be in there somewhere.
Staff member has died.
Stay back!
Analysis complete. Marker placed.
I thought we could count on you, boss. Mission failed.
Se gratter la gorge, ça veut pas dire qu'elle est infectée?
Search the building and locate whoever sent that transmission. Guess the parasites killed him. Don't touch him. He's covered in blood.
Staff member has died.
Stay back!
He's got a mask. He's with the rescue team. And the guy from before. Was that more of the message? We'll try to clean it up.
You're kidding, right? Help me. Help me. Help me. Help me.
Staff member has died.
Step aside, boss. I just want to go outside. I can't die in this hellhole. I'm not infected. I can't be right. If I am, I don't want to go out like this.
Staff member has died. Analysis complete. Analysis complete. Analysis complete.
He's wearing a mask. He's part of the rescue team. Looks like he's not the one who sent the message. I'd like to hear what he has to
Analysis
say,
complete.
but you need to keep going.
Analysis complete.
Another transmission.
Analysis complete.
I have analyzed part of the data
Analysis
that was faxed
complete.
out. It appears even those who barely spoke became symptomatic. This must be some kind of mutation.
Member has died. Analysis complete. Analysis complete.
What the hell happened?
At least you're okay.
What's going on?
I win. I'm no snail.
Damn it.
So he sent the transmission. Seems like he had a way of IDing who's symptomatic. But what was he trying to say? Snail. Yes, of course. It all makes sense now. Do not let anyone showing symptoms get outside. As infection progresses, it triggers an overwhelming urge to get out in the open. That's the parasite controlling them. Once outside, the birds will feed on infected bodies, spreading the parasite on land. The whole world will be infested. To shoot, boss. We can't let them outside. Damn it. We can't allow any contagious individuals to leave. Shoot, Snake.
Staff member has died. Staff member has died.
That's good. You still have those goggles. If you see a glow in someone's throat, that means they are infected. And all you can do is give them a quick death. He's infected. Kill him, boss. We can't save him now.
Member has died. Member has died.
I'm sorry.
Member has died.
You just killed your own... Emmerich, what the hell? Nobody asked for your opinion. You expect me to just stand by and watch this?
Member has died. Member has died. Staff member has died. Member has died. Member has died.
one of your men!
Member has died.
I can't take this anymore.
Member has died.
You yourself said we're a family! Or was it all lies?
Member has died.
Please, kill me, boss!
Member has died. Member has died.
Hurt me! They're going outside! No, we're dead anyway. Boss! Boss! Hey! Let's let the boss decide. We live and die by your order, boss. Boss!
Member has
Shooting your
died.
own men! That's not the big boss I knew!
Member has died.
Hang on, boss. Is he wearing a mask? He might not be infected. Examine him with those goggles.
Analysis complete.
Carry the rescue team member to the exit. He's the only one not infected.
The map has been updated.
Got a survivor. Unlock the door.
Wait. I don't think I made it after all.
What? You just checked him. Could it have progressed this quickly? Boss, take another look at him with the goggles. He is infected. I don't believe it.
Staff member has
Sorry,
died.
boss.
Cette partie du scénario m'aura vraiment laissé sur le cul. Des blessures.
There's nothing we could have done for them. We're all grateful, boss.
It's your fault! They're dead because of you!
What?
He's right. I killed him with my own hands.
They were on your side! I'm on your side! And you turned them all to ashes!
They wanted you to shoot. It was that or be burned alive. Come on. Let's get this over with.
Wait. I won't scatter your sorrow to the heartless sea. I will always be with you. Plant your roots in me. You're all diamonds.
We're not burying them at sea. What then?
We'll make diamonds from their ashes. Take them into battle with us.
A shining light to our brothers in arms, even in death.
We are diamond dogs.
Ça, c'est le genre de scène que j'aime. Un passage énorme suivi d'une superbe scène vidéo. C'est ça, Metal Gear.
Mission list updated.
I don't know how you do it. All I could do was obsess over revenge, doubting my comrades along the way. But even after all we've accomplished, the phantom pain never let up. If anything, it just got worse. But you understood that from the start, didn't you? From the moment you opened your eyes in that hospital, you knew it wouldn't go away. That you've been fighting the pain and confronting your phantoms the whole time. Knowing full well the battle would never end, not till the day you die. I respect that now, more than ever. It's an honor and a privilege, Big Boss.
Plant expansion complete. Please select a mission. Please select a landing zone.
Voir s'il y a une scène. Et arrêtez. Parce que là, Chrome qui déconne, ça me fait un petit peu.
Welcome back.
Thanks for that, boss.
Thank you.
Merci.
Boss, thank you for putting an end to the infection.
Thank you.
Boss, thank you for what you did with the diamonds.
Boss.
Now, they can rest in peace.
Analysis complete.
Talk. Where are your friends? Speak.
Thanks for that,
Where are your
boss.
friends? Spit it out.
Thank you, boss.
Where are your friends?
Thanks for that, boss.
Caution, heavy mist anticipated.
Bien, bonne soirée. J'ai de régler le problème avec mon Chrome.